everyone, and welcome to the Music is Our Hero podcast, hosted by Grammy Award winner Drea Young. This is the spot where we celebrate creativity, share stories, and lift each other up in the arts. Each episode will dive into conversations that inspire, empower, and spark new ideas, because art isn't just about what we make, it's about the community we build together. So grab a seat, get comfy, and let's grow in creativity side by side. The Music is Our Hero podcast, where creativity, community, and inspiration come to life.
All right, so I'm sitting with Chuck in his beautiful apartment today. I just met a week ago, and we don't know what we're doing right now, but we're in his apartment talking. Yeah. So I only know a little bit about Chuck. I only know he's been a DJ for a long time, and that you make these cables now. So I really just want you to start. I want you to start talking, and
Sure.
And
So,
I don't even know where you want to start or anything like that. But I can't wait to hear it all.
Okay, I'm an interior designer by trade. That's what I have a degree in. So I do interior design for a living. But I've always been a DJ since I was a little kid. I made mixtapes for my friends and whatever. So I've always done that, and I've always collected records. And it's like I've always been looking for a sound.
Yeah,
trying to find my sound. And I remember I was probably about 20, and I had a date with this guy who was 18, and I was madly in love with him. And I went to his apartment to pick him up on my motorcycle, and there was something playing on his turntable that I was like, wait, what's that? And I looked, and it was like, I caught the name as it was turning. It was like Cocteau something. Oh, Cocteau Twins. Okay. So at that point, I looked into it. Of course, there was no internet at the time. I am like 50-something. I will not tell.
that's why we got to hear your story.
Yeah.
You got some experience.
Gay men don't tell their age either. Sorry. But
yeah.
So I remember like thinking to myself, that's the sound I've been looking for years. So I looked into it, and sure enough, I became, a big, not a fan, but yeah, their music really inspired me.
Okay.
So
what was the name of them?
Cocteau Twins.
Okay.
And this was like in the 1980s.
Okay.
Like early 80s. I was a teenager in the 80s. So, in my 20s and the later 80s. And so that was the kind of start of my journey into continuing to try to find my sound. All along, I'm kind of bumbling along through school, trying to figure out my life, whatever.
Which is a never-ending game,
Which is a never-ending game, of course. And then end up in design school, studying architecture and interior design. So that's what I do for a living, and I'm pretty good at it, I think. I don't know. I have some good clients, a good stable of clients I've had for years. But music has really been my main thing. It's really about a nonverbal form of communication. So as a DJ, when I started to play in the 90s, really is when I really started to like play in nightclubs.
Yeah.
It was really about trying to, and I don't play for a crowd, so I don't play what they want. I play to a crowd.
Right.
So I play things that I want them to hear, and I try to get the room moving together.
Yeah.
It's really about that. And like still to this day, I have friends that come over to just hear what I'm listening to. Because, a lot of people just don't have time to go find new music.
Yeah.
And I'm still searching for my sound, even though I've found it, kind of, I guess. I haven't really found it. It's like being a DJ is being the ultimate teacher and the ultimate student. Because you want to share with other people. You want to teach other people about music that you've heard. You want to share it with them. But you also need to keep learning. So you need to keep listening. So, I'm not stuck like in the 1970s or the 1980s. I mean, I listen to stuff that is current now, mainly really underground stuff,
Yeah. I love that because I DJ and I have kind of like hoarded myself out because I do it basically full time. I do other music stuff full time. But a lot of times it's open format and, it's like playing what they want. And I don't know. I really I'm like, man, I wish and it's kind of like I feel like I just like sold myself out because when you're doing that, but that's how you consistently.
I think I asked you when we first met, like you said you DJ, and I asked you like, what do you do? And you said you do like weddings and stuff and parties,
all kinds of things.
Okay,
like
I mean I don't do any of that. I can't. Like there's no way I could do a wedding. I can't play what you want to hear. I can't do
I admire.
that.
That's what I admire. Like some DJs.
Again, it's a different thing.
Like you're looking for your sound, so like I appreciate that because it is, and that does that is kind of what it all, like the way you're explaining
it's a different
it.
thing. It's
Yeah,
a different
it is a
thing.
different
So
thing.
there's
Yeah.
working DJs, I think, who do weddings, who do parties, who play what people want to hear, who know how to get things moving, who can do the wedding thing, the whatever, here comes
Yeah.
the bride, or the birthday, or whatever. And then there are DJs who play in nightclubs, especially like underground nightclubs. I played at Tunnel in New York, at Vinyl in New York, at Twilo, like all the biggest clubs that ever existed in the 90s.
Yeah.
That scene doesn't really exist anymore. I'm glad I was
coming
there.
back, which is
I don't know. I don't know if it is. I mean,
actually, because I know that I was a teenager in the '90s, and then I don't know what happened, and like the scene was kind of whatever. But now, like the 20-some-year-olds, like there's warehouses, like there's things happening again in Philly. That's super.
Well,
super cool.
I know that like a lot of young people, because I have like a lot of young friends, and yeah, just like last week, like 3 of my like millennial friends came over to like just listen to music and hang out with me for a couple hours. They want to hear what I'm listening to. They're not really tuned in. They don't really spend any time or give any energy to go finding new stuff.
Yeah.
So, I have a regular, I like to call it like a salon almost, kind of like people come over, they hang out. I play records. We talk about the music a little bit.
I love that.
We have a few beers, whatever. And then they hang out for a little while and then they go wherever they're going to go.
Yeah.
And I still feel like I'm teaching.
Yeah.
But while also in the background, not in the background, but when they're not here, I'm still trying to find new stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Constantly listening, a few stations that I listen to regularly. And, it was easier when there were record stores you could go to.
Yeah.
Especially like in New York, you could go to like, Satellite Records and they would give you all the new stuff and you'd listen to it. Can't really do that anymore. It's all streaming now. I'm a big vinyl guy, obviously. And I like to think that what keeps me sort of young and relevant, and I just got a call from like a club in Fishtown that wants me to play. Actually, they wanted me to play like next Thursday, and I can't because I have a party. I have a board meeting, but sometime in November. And I played there once, and like a lot of my friends came out, and I think I lit them up a little bit. They're not necessarily used to, like what I call myself like an old head. I mean, I'm not old. I don't feel old, but I am older.
Yeah.
So it's like, but I went, and so that they called me back. They want me to play more.
That's great.
I don't play like stuff, from the 70s and 80s. I play stuff now. And
Right.
They ask me, what is that? And I was like, oh, that's, Andy Stott, or that's new stuff. And I also mix in stuff that was really influential for me. So like, I think it's important
Which
that
I think some of that stuff that you're talking about, even though it's 80s and 90s, I feel like some kids would appreciate that.
Oh, they totally do.
Like there's it's,
I mean,
it's so good.
the biggest influences in my life musically were Cocteau Twins, and then I would say there's 5 major influences. It changes, but they remain. Cocteau Twins, Bjork,
Oh yeah.
Boards of Canada, Plaid, Burial. These are, I would say, Burial's still making music now. He's a young guy. These have really shaped me, I think, musically. So in any event, as an interior designer, I kind of got a little bit away from that, DJing and music stuff, because, I had to, like, design people's homes, whatever.
Yeah.
But it never really left me, and I always collected music, and I always shared it with my friends. And there was one thing that always really bothered me. And, at one point, I think probably in the mid-'90s, in the back of my apartment, I set up actually like a music studio. I had like a beautiful mixer. I had all kinds of gear. I had, 2 keyboards, a Nord lead. I had, a Korg N5. I was over the top, and I wasn't really good at it. Like, I'm not good at producing music. I'm really good at playing music for other people.
Okay.
I'm a really good DJ. I'm not a good producer.
Okay.
I've tried. I have 60 or 70 tracks, and there's not one of them that I would play for you now.
Yeah.
And that kind of broke my heart a little bit, but also it made me realize, okay, that's not what you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
You're supposed to be playing music for people, teaching them through the music that you understand. So that's what I do. But there was one thing that always bothered me.
Okay.
And it was like, and I know this is going to sound so ridiculous, but there was one thing that bothered me. And we're going back to probably the early 90s when I was really in the thick of trying to make music on my own with other people. And I have some really well-known DJ friends and producers who were helping me, and I couldn't get my shit together. I couldn't get it together. I'm just not good at it.
Yeah.
But there was one thing, and it's curious, that always bothered me. Like, I had tons of cables everywhere, and the cables were all the wrong size. And I always thought to myself at the time, I wish I could just make my own cables everything wouldn't have to be like 30 feet long when I really need like a 10-foot cable.
Yeah.
So just recently, like about, I would say within the last 6 months, with the help of ChatGPT, no lie, I decided I was going to take on like cable building, like audio cable building, like really high quality, super high quality. And then I started to understand what goes into this whole industry, and a lot of it is like snake oil. So they sell you a cable that's $500 or $1,000, and the materials are like $20.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, wait a minute. I can make all these. I can make them for myself and for my friends, and that's what I'm going to do. So that's what I started to do. I learned everything. I knew nothing about soldering, nothing. I mean, I'm an interior designer. I studied architecture and
So
design.
you just recently, this all of a sudden, just dawned on you want to do this?
Well, it
like
didn't dawn on me.
You've always thought about for decades, it sounds
listen,
like.
what dawned on me was like, I need something to do now that's different than what I've been doing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? Why don't you make, and I was frustrated because I was like trying to like rewire my own apartment and I couldn't like get the right size cables and I was making me crazy. I'm like, you know what? Why don't you just finally like learn how to do it? So with the help of ChatGPT, who I named Dieter, by the way, and for anyone who's curious, Dieter Rams.
Does it go by Dieter?
Yeah.
I mean, I know, yeah.
But for anyone who's interested, Dieter Rams, who's basically, if you look at his work from like the 1940s and the 1950s, he invented like the iPod and the iPhone before it was ever even imagined. He was like the ultimate like minimalist, like pure, perfect. So I named my chat bot Dieter, and he helps me. And anyways, completely taught me how to solder. Taught me what gear to buy.
No, it's crazy. AI, that's a whole nother.
Taught me about cables. Taught me about cable geometry, things that I knew nothing about. And now all of a sudden, like, and it's been months. I would say, like, probably I started somewhere like February or March. So we're in October. So probably 7 months. And actually, all of the cables now in my apartment, I've totally rewired my own apartment. All the cables I've done myself, and now I'm making like really, really amazing speaker cables for my friends.
Yeah.
And essentially, I'm not trying to do it as a business.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I know that's how we started talking last.
Yeah,
week.
it's like I want people to have good cables
like,
so that they have good sound.
You could, and you're like, I don't want to sell them.
Pay me for the materials.
Yeah.
My friend Ari, who's like one of my best friends, making him a set of speaker cables right now that would be, no lie, $1,000 a pair. Like that's not. I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah,
I know what I'm using.
Yeah, and I would say that to you too. I mean, I've been dealing with cables forever. I was an audio engineer before. I also still am an audio engineer, but I don't do it for a living anymore. But cables have always been in my life, and I said, and I don't really buy the most expensive cables because they get so expensive, and I just need a cable. And then I asked you last week, and you were like, it does really make a difference.
Sure it does. I mean, it makes a huge difference.
Which is crazy.
It makes a huge difference, and
which is understandable too. At the same
time.
Time.
Once you know it, and once you learn it, and once you actually see the difference, and you hear the difference, it's like okay. So my friend Ari, who's a good friend of mine, I'm making him a set of speaker cables now. Yeah, like I said, it would be they would be like $1,000 for the pair. They're 15 feet each. The cables are like this thick. The materials cost for the whole project.
Those with the what is that on the end? Not when it's like an XLR. It's like a speakers. What do they call that thing?
It's not a speak-on. No,
not a speak-on.
No,
okay.
It's not an XLR because it's he's got like regular.
See, I only know about these. I went to school, so I had to make some cables back, but that's all I know.
Yeah, and these are XLRs, which are the ultimate. But most home audiophile stuff is done with RCA and done with like speaker wire that you can terminate through banana plugs, different kinds of spades. Okay, so I'm making him a set of speaker cables, and the materials cost is like $200.
Wow.
That these easily would be like $1,000 thing, and I'm like thrilled to do it for him. He sent me a picture of like the speaker cable that he has now, and I sent it to Dieter in ChatGPT, and it's like, well, that's like pseudo boutique, like bullshit.
Oh yeah, and Chat talks now, right?
Yeah,
and it's so weird, right?
Well, it is. And then I sent it to Art, and he was like, "Oh my God, I'm humiliated by AI." And he laughed, and he's like, "Yeah, of course he knows he needs good speaker wire. I mean, he probably paid a fortune for what he has, but nonetheless, I think at this stage in my life where I'm sort of easing away from the interior design a little bit, I'm very careful about the projects I take. I've had a lot of, I will say, success, fame even. I've been on HGTV. I don't know, my work has been published.
That's amazing.
Just saying, it's great. But, it's also like, it's time to make a shift, and it's time to do something that I love, that matters, and share that with my friends and other people. And for me, like making sure that audio sounds really good is super important. Yes, making sure someone's home is livable and that it works is also, that's probably the most important thing to me because that's what I've dedicated my life to. But also it felt like, now that I'm somewhere in my 50s, it felt like it was time to focus on something else.
Yeah.
Like almost kind of like a little bit of a, I won't say midlife crisis, but like a change.
Yeah, well, like a give back, like a, something.
Yeah, something. And I honestly, I never, I've always wanted to do it. And I never even like thought I should just do it. Until one day I was like, you know what? This is like 7 months ago. Maybe I can just do this. And the next thing you know, I have a full setup. I have like all the best gear.
Yeah.
And I've invested, good money and tons of time. Right now, I don't have a lot of like design projects, so I have time to really invest in, practicing. And I've made, I don't know, probably 70 or 80 cables, most of them which I've thrown away by now. You can test them. You can make sure that
Why'd you throw them away? Because there was
and I was practicing, or they didn't test right. I have two ways to test them. Through a multimeter and also through like a cable tester. And if there's like a short somewhere in the line, or if it's not a really clean signal all the way from end to end, so I just kept working on it. And now I've, I feel like I've kind of mastered it. So. Yeah. And I think I offered to make you cables if you needed them.
I will. I'm sure I'll need some.
Right
now I have a ton of cables, but I mean, I can always just take cables too if you want. Well, if you have cables to get rid of, there's always.
It's interesting. I was watching this guy, probably like in his 20s, talk about this really good cable wire that he uses in his studio. Now, he's kind of like a professional engineer, and he's probably like in his late 20s, early 30s. He's pretty well known. I don't remember his name, but he was talking, and he actually did this sort of test. He tested like 3 cables, and he did like he counted 1 to 12 each time and recorded it, and then he showed like the difference that it made. And, he's a big supporter of like having good cables. Not really about like spending a ton of money. That's like a whole other industry. The kind of boutique cable industry is like basically to take a lot of money from people that have a lot of money.
Yeah.
To take, like my friend Ari's a doctor. He makes a good living, whatever. He's going to pay $1,000 for a set of speaker cables. But guess what? I could make him better speaker cables probably for $200.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I am now. And I'm loving it. And it also kind of feels like suddenly my focus has shifted a little bit. Again, I think I've had not enough, but I've had enough success that now I just take design projects that I feel really make sense for me.
That's nice.
If the client is already, if I can see the potential client is going to be a problem already, I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I'm right for you.
Yeah,
maybe I can recommend somebody else. So, I'm
It's
careful.
nice. You're at that age.
Well, and also I'm not really trying to make a ton of money anymore. I don't have a lot of money, but I also don't have a lot of expenses. I bought this apartment like when I was like young, and
That's
this
awesome.
neighborhood was horrible.
It's a beautiful. Should we check it out? Should we check out your space?
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to show you my DJ booth for sure, and
so do that now?
Yeah, for sure. So my cable studio ended up on my dining room table. I have a sort of a studio in the back where I essentially used to do all my design work, and it's basically now a catch-all room. So I would come on this side so I can show you, because I have a really exquisite collection of engineer tools, which are made in Japan. I've learned so much about cabling, about tools, about connectors, about gear. And of course, I went all out, and why would I not go all out? I also have a collection of Toyo toolboxes, which I think is really super important. They're all over the apartment. There's one here. There's one here. There's one there. And the story of Toyo, this one's got the Good Design Award on it. The story of Toyo is that somewhere in the 1960s, I think, late 50s or mid 60s, they developed a way to make a toolbox out of a piece of metal with no seams. So this was stamped out of one piece of metal. They're designed, they're in the Museum of Modern Art permanent collection. And of course now there's like people that wanted to collaborate with them, like Neighborhood, which is like a sort of what do you call it? Like a Japanese like streetwear brand. And they've done stuff with like Supreme and all the like big deal things. So I started to buy them, and they're all full of tools actually, because like a toolbox is kind of like, it's a kit for life.
Yeah.
It's a kit for life. I used to have other collection of miniature chairs on that wall. I got rid of them. Tools are important, but the DJ booth, which of course is super important, which is in here.
Let's see.
Yeah, and I have my,
Vinyls.
yeah, and oh yeah, there's a lot more. There's a closet full of them.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Transfer any of these?
no, I just play them. I mean, I do have a CD recorder, like a professional one, and then of course I have my original 1210s, my Technics 1210s from the 90s. I think 1994, and my Pioneer mixer also somewhere from the 90s, and everything. I've maintained everything perfectly, beautifully. Yeah. Well, I just bought new covers, so it makes them look new, and I've also had this totally reconditioned. So, and I have a pretty good collection of music that I think most of my friends covet. Yeah, I would covet it myself, but it's mine, so I love to share it. Other than that, it's been an interesting journey, I would say, up to this point, and I'm not really sure where it's going to go. I have no idea. I know that I get to see this every day. I would like to take a look at that. I get to see the sunset, although it's cloudy, and I also get to see like the city, every day. I would come here and look. Yeah. So, and I got lucky. Like I bought this place when I was really young, when nobody was in this neighborhood, and I paid like basically nothing for it.
Wow.
Yeah. And I've lived here forever, and I guess I'll stay here until I'm done. I don't know. I guess. But it's been interesting. It's been an interesting journey up till now, and it does feel like something has shifted and something has changed. That I'm devoting time to almost like a hobby, but I'm not treating it like a hobby. I'm treating it like I would treat my interior design projects, and I've learned everything about it. So, I don't want to think of it as a craft or like a hobby. I want to think of it like I'm going to, fabricate really beautiful audio cables so that sounds really correct, I guess.
Through all these journeys, did you ever have like relationships or anything? Or have you always?
Yeah, I've had a few. I think the boy that I was telling you about that I went to his apartment when I saw the Cocteau Twins.
When you were 20.
Yeah,
20,
I think I was about 20 and he was about 18 or 19. And, well, it's a good story. I don't know that I've ever felt that way about anybody in my life. Like
Okay.
I would have, and we made out, but we never like actually consummated anything. He actually had a boyfriend at the time he was breaking up with. I don't even really know how I met him, but I just remember that he was like the most beautiful boy I had ever seen in my life. And I remember like picking him up on my motorcycle and that I would kind of go a little fast going down the Ben Franklin Parkway because I knew if I would go a little faster, he would put his arms around me. He used to hold on to the back, the sissy bar. And I just wanted to be close to him.
Yeah.
And of course, Cocteau Twins was playing in his apartment, which essentially started my whole journey of music. It really did.
Yeah.
I mean, Bowie when I was really young, but Cocteau Twins was like a major turning point. And of course, they've gone on to influence everyone from like Madonna and Prince to every shoegaze, there's not a band alive that would say they weren't influenced by them. They're, and they're not that well known, but people who know.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if I know who they are.
Yeah, I mean, if not you, I'll send you
I might
some.
have to. Yeah, I
I'll
might have
send
to
you
just
some
hear,
stuff.
and then I'll know.
So after that, though, I guess when I was like 21 or so, I had met a boy, and I don't know, we had like a relationship for a little while. He left, and then I was with somebody for 8 years.
Okay.
And then I got involved in the club scene. I got a little bit involved in the drug scene. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I got my education. Let's put it that way, as we say. That all ended probably like late 90s, maybe year 2000, I would say, like right before 9/11. I kind of vaguely remember that. And now I'm single, and it's strange being a kind of, hate to use the word middle-aged, but I guess I am, middle-aged gay man, trying to find a partner. I mean, gay men are pretty good about having a lot of fun when they're younger and running around.
Yeah.
I was a prude. I was afraid to do all that. Of course, I lost all my friends to AIDS, so... And when I say all of them, like all of them.
Wow.
Not one of them, like every single one of my friends. John and I, it was my boyfriend at the time.
Now, was that in the like 80s
in the,
or 90s?
in,
And how
80s,
long can you have
It
it?
was in the 90s.
90s, and they
80s
passed
and
in the
90s.
90s? Is it, like, how fast did that?
I mean, I think by the time I was 27, everybody was gone.
Wow.
I mean, my closest friends were all gone.
Wow.
And you know, what's happened
crazy.
now is if you meet someone who's maybe in their 30s now, they have enough of a memory, or they're old enough to remember when they might have known somebody or they've heard about it. But if you meet someone in their 20s now, especially in their early 20s, I have a lot of young friends. Like I said, they come over, they listen to music, we hang out. It's not, you know, I'm not trying to like get with them. I just I'm really all about like turning people
I
into
have young
music.
friends. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's not.
They have no connection to it. So there's this whole thing that's happened in the gay community where for decades, we were all connected by this one thing. We all looked out for each other because like we had, the one thing we had, whether you were young or old or whatever, like we had all lost people that we really loved. And we were all fighting for something to happen, for there to be some cure, something that there should be. And I remember going to Washington with my boyfriend John, and you know, throwing red paint on the CDC because they would do nothing. And Reagan was president. I wasn't even old enough to vote for him. But you know, it's like it's finally now come to a place where this generation of gay men, especially, have no connection to what a lot of us went through.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to live in the past, but it's also like I realize like if it weren't for the work that we did, for the fighting and the advocacy that we did, you wouldn't have PrEP. You wouldn't be able to do all the stuff that you can do now if it weren't for us. Meanwhile, we lost all our friends.
Right.
There was a handful of us that survived. But all in all, you know, and I almost hate to say this. I've talked about this to my therapist and also to like some close friends. There's a bittersweetness to it, where, yeah, of course, I don't want to see anybody get sick and die from AIDS. Of course not. I watched all my friends die. But in a way, like, I'm bitter because I lost all my friends.
Yeah.
And they, for nothing. For what did they do? They didn't do anything different than anyone's doing today. So, you know, it's a weird moment to have to kind of deal with it. Like, as a gay man, it's complicated.
Yeah.
And I fight it. I just like, yeah, thank God it's over and done. And it really is. Like, it's not a death sentence
I haven't
anymore.
heard a lot of stories, and that's crazy because I guess it's not even really talked about.
No, it's really not. Like, there you go.
Because I mean, I've been in whatever, and I'm not much. I'm maybe almost a decade younger than you, but it's still something I never heard anybody say that. I never met anybody that was like literally everybody was just it was like a pandemic.
Yeah, and it was
whatever you call it.
It was, and of course, you know, they didn't want to do anything about it. And I mean, yeah, I lost everybody. We lost everybody. And today, of course, now it's like, you know, and then there was that period where before there was PrEP and before there was like treatment where it was all about safe sex. You're gonna have sex, but you have to wear a condom, whatever. And look, I was never interested in that. I had a boyfriend, and you know, honestly, it's like I'm more interested in music and other stuff.
You weren't the typical gay man?
No, not at all. I mean, I never really fit into the gay scene.
Yeah.
And in part, I say that because, you know what, like, I never had an issue at home. Like, my mother knew I was gay. My whole family knew. Nobody cared.
Yeah.
So I never really connected with, like, being gay as part of, like, who I am. Who I am is Chuck. I'm a designer. I'm a DJ. What I am is like a white gay male. Like, I can't change any of that.
Yeah.
But it's really not, I don't feel the need to be part of a community or something that I was born this way. So, but I also don't, I understand why other people need that. I don't. So I really never.
I get what you mean. 'Cause I've never really been a community either, but I'm not opposed to what.
I mean, I'm like part of like the music community. I'm part of other, but like the gay thing, like I'm gay, so I'm like also blonde and I'm white. I don't know.
And it's kind of like what you're saying too. It's almost like sometimes people need a place to go and be. So it's like if they're not okay with just whatever they find that community that they can.
I watched a lot of my friends, the ones that survived, especially when I was younger though. Let's say when I was a teenager, I watched them get thrown out of the house. When their parents found out they were gay, I watched them be completely, you know, disowned and, you know, ostracized to no end. So I understand the need for that.
Yeah.
I just personally for me, So I played a couple times in a gay club and I kind of don't fit in because like I said, I don't really play
for them. I play
Right.
to them.
And there's a
I'm not going to
specific-
play Madonna and Whitney Houston, all the stuff at the time that they wanted to hear. I was playing shit that
They
they had
still
never
wanna hear
heard.
it. They still wanna hear it.
Yeah, but
It's
even
the-
though they were dancing to the stuff I was playing and they were loving it, they were still waiting.
They want to sing along.
That's right. And you know what? That's just not my scene. So
I like that about you.
I have
That's
a
cool.
kind of odd relationship with the gay community.
You only have that one gig. Do you have any other gigs besides
I just
that
have
one
one
Thursday?
coming up. Yeah, and it's. I met this guy riding my bike, which is really on the trail.
I would love to go to one of your gigs. I bet
Yeah,
you I'd
well,
appreciate it.
in November at International in Fishtown. I played like last year, I think, in November.
Okay.
Everybody came out. It was amazing. And, it's just like a little kind of bar club thing. It's not like a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, I played like in some of the biggest clubs, like in New York, like the biggest clubs in New York.
You
I
probably
played
had
back
a
in the
great
day.
time.
I mean, I was never headlined. So I would open up for the main DJ. I was friends with Danny
So the
Chineglia
main
and Josh
DJ,
Boynton.
did they produce their own music?
I mean,
Or a lot of times, because I find right now in the scene, it's like you're never going to get a main whatever if you're not producing your own music.
I mean, one of
Or
my
I guess
closest-
somebody could be producing it for you, kind of thing. Having original.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of DJs who most DJs produce at this point.
Yeah.
One of my closest friends is Danny Chineglia, who's like a really famous New York DJ. He played at, like Paradise Garage, like back in the day. And he played at some of the big clubs. I brought him to Philadelphia, and they had to close Spring Garden Street. I think it was 1996 or 1997.
Wow.
There were so many people came out. I opened for him. And of course, I have other friends. I mean, I know Josh Wink, I've known for a million years.
Yeah.
And a bunch of other.
See,
like,
that's when I was getting in the scene. That's when I was a teenager.
All the
coming to
local
Philly.
people I know. I'm friendly with. Or
Maybe
I
I
know
heard
them.
you spin before, for all I know.
You might have. The one thing that I can say, like I did the closing party at Revival. So
Okay.
Revival was the club on 3rd Street, I believe. Yeah, 3rd Street, like right off of Market, like between.
Now,
Market.
was that in the 90s?
Probably. I want to say,
Because I
but
just
it's
went
hard for me
to,
remember.
where did I go? Well, you could be like 14
Black
or 15 years old.
Banana.
No, Club Space.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was there a lot. And
Yeah.
I don't know how I was allowed to get
Shampoo.
into a
Remember
nightclub. Yeah,
Shampoo?
yeah. I was a kid.
I
What was
played-
going on in the 90s?
Yeah, it was a big deal. I played at Shampoo a lot, and it was good. I played at Black Banana, and
I wasn't even 18. Like, you couldn't do that now.
Well, there's
14,
really-
15-year-olds.
there's
I mean,
no-
I guess if it's underground. I mean, I guess.
there really is no club scene here. It's
Yeah.
the thing. Like now that's over and done. It's different now.
Yeah.
People don't like back in the day. That's how we communicated. We didn't have phones. We didn't have anything.
Oh, flyers. You would wake up all those flyers.
Yeah,
in
and
your
we
pocket.
would
Oh, it
meet
was
on
the best.
we would meet on the dance floor.
Yeah.
And that's how we made friends. I mean,
Oh,
now
man. Too
it's
bad we can't go back.
social media didn't exist. So
Internet barely existed.
barely. If that.
didn't. It didn't even. It was the
actually
late 90s. that it-
which is actually the one thing that I wish. Well, it's a peculiar wish because I wish we would have had phones so that we could have taken pictures. Like I literally have like 3 pictures from like my whole days of all the nightclub days, which were so unbelievable.
Yeah.
But of course, if we would have had phones, then it probably wouldn't have been what it was. Because I
Yeah.
see now where people go out to hear DJs play it, and they're all just about holding their phones up. It's not really about
and it's so
communicating.
much about like the visuals now.
Right. It's not really about communicating through the music anymore.
Yeah. No.
That's really what it was back in the day. It was
I
like,
like how you put that. You've kind of inspired me.
we
with
we
this
communicated
comment.
through the music.
Yeah.
The music, and as a DJ, what I could say, the most important thing is like music for me is the ultimate nonverbal form of communication. I could sit here now and play some records for you. You may like them or not. I would be able to tell. I would also be able to tell if you got into them, and I would know how to keep that going.
Yeah.
And I would be able to actually share some like emotional. You'd feel something out of it. That's the power of music.
Yeah.
And that is something that I think still a lot of people feel they have certain songs or they have vibes or they listen to certain genres of music that really speak to them. But back in my time, in the height of it, like that's all we had.
Yeah.
So it was, and it's still that important to me. And yes, I understand that doesn't exist anymore. And I'm not one of these guys that like lives in the past.
Right. You're not mad about it.
No,
Yeah,
hell no,
those
hell
people
no.
are-
No, I'm
like, knock
I'm still
it off
buying
with
new
this-
records.
People getting all mad. It's like, come
No,
on.
I'm still buying new records. I'm still listening to new artists.
Yeah, you're still doing it.
Yeah, I'm still trying to like find all the good sounds. I want to know what people are doing now. I want to know now how people are communicating through music. So I think by extension, me making like really good quality cables helps.
Is a way that you're communicating.
Helps that communication piece.
I love that.
Yeah.
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 So there's that.
I love that. And I'm gonna wrap it up, and I normally have one last question, but you just completely, I feel like, answered it. I always ask people, because my brand is Music is Our Hero. If you go to musicisourhero.com, that's where you can learn a lot more about me. Okay. And usually I'll say, how is music your hero? But I feel like you just literally went off and answered, and it's how you communicate and this and that and everything you just said. So I don't even think that we need to go back through that.
By the way, it's a really good question to ask. I mean, yeah, for me, it really is. Music is not only my hero, it's actually really like the way that I communicate. It's really, ultimately, yes, I could design your home and make you live a really good life, and I'm good at that. But ultimately, if I want to share my feelings, if I really want to share, if I want to be intimate with someone,
music.
It's through music.
Yeah.
So that
and
is
it's like
not,
people that write music too. It's like a vulnerable state. You
Sure.
know, like when I've written music, it's usually something's usually just wrong with me, and I pick up a guitar and some words come out. You know what I mean? But it's like because a lot of people can't express their emotions.
That's right.
So
it's like
cool.
when things are good, when things are bad, when you feel down, there's music that can make you feel more down, but that can make you feel good. It's kind of like what they say about the blues.
Like the comfort and sadness.
That's right. The blues are like when feeling bad never felt so good.
Yeah.
That's essentially the greatest, I think, definition of the blues. But, also when you need a shift, when you need a change, what you can listen to. For those of us that really, what music speaks to me, like I could still cry from a track, and I could cry from a track that has no vocals in it.
Yeah.
I could just cry from
and
like
it's
a
also
chord.
something that just lasts forever. Normally what you grow up on as a teenager, like when you go, when you get older, people get dementia and stuff like that. It's crazy what music can do. Like they might not know anything, or
They
how to
might not
talk,
know anything, but
drooling,
they'll remember
and then
like
all of
a
a sudden
song.
a song comes on and they're happy and they're singing the song.
Again, I think it's the ultimate form of nonverbal communication. Like we can talk, and look, we're all smart. Like we could talk our way out of a paper bag.
Yeah.
I could sit here and lie to you, make up a whole bunch of stories that make myself sound grand in this way and that way. But you know what? You can't lie when you play records for someone. You can't lie when you make music from your heart.
Yeah.
You can't. It's there. There's no way to really, you can make pop music that doesn't matter, but if you really share something deep, it's different. Like we all know how to cover up our emotions and all of our shit by talking.
Yeah.
But when I play records, that's when you're truly vulnerable, and that's also when it really comes out.
Yeah.
So hopefully that answers your question.
I love that. Yeah, no, you definitely did.
Good.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the
Thank you.
time
Thank you, Drea.
to sit here in your beautiful apartment and do this.
And come hear me.
I should come. And
I will
when I'm in the
let
city,
you
you're
know
right here, so that's great. So I live in the burbs, so it's like a little whatever, but I'm in the city a lot, or sometimes I am in between gigs. If you're around, you can show me some music. I would love that.
And you're welcome to come over anytime you want to drop by and like have a listening party. I do it a lot.
Yeah.
Last week, even the week before.
That would be
a bunch
good
of
for
people
my
come over.
mental health, I feel like.
Sure. And I would
because I'm
play-
so wrapped up in, like I said earlier, like so much music is involved in my life, but sometimes I just feel like I'm in a box, and I think it's because of the approach that I have taken with music in a way of not being myself. Because I am also an artist in there. And I'm never making music because it's like the last thing on the list. I'm always making flyers and promo and all this bullshit. And I have this in me, but I find ways to get it out. Like this is one way that I'm getting it out now. It's this freaking podcast.
Well, good. I'm glad, and you're welcome.
And I want to give back to a lot that I,
For sure.
have been given.
And you're welcome anytime to come listen to records, and I'll just play some stuff for you and see where your head is. I'll be able to figure out kind of like what you like or not. And I will speak to you through the records. That's what I do. And if it's just something you don't like right away, I will know, and you won't like it, and that's okay. And then maybe we're not meant to really be close in that way. But, also when I play at International, I'll let you know. You can
definitely let me
drag
know.
some people out. It was amazing. Last time was like an amazing night. And I played a lot of stuff that nobody had ever heard. And it was a lot of fun.
Cool.
Until next time, keep creating, keep connecting, and keep building together. Remember, we're in this together. So let's keep each other's shine alive.